Good afternoon. I've got a little bit of a rock cutting and polishing special for you guys today. We've got a little ghost agate nodule with some really interesting dendritic crystals inside. That means tree-like or branch-like. And then I've got a little piece of petrified wood. So let's take a closer look and I'll talk about what we're going to do with them. Okay, so starting with the petrified wood, move it out of the shade here. It has a pretty neat grain pattern running through. So I'm going to keep it simple. What I'm going to do is cut it right down the middle, and then we'll polish the face. That way we get a really nice polished look at that grain. And then this ghost agate is something Brianna found the other day. And if you look in there, you can see those black crystal formations in there. So I'm going to polish the whole thing all the way around. Hopefully it won't take too long. And then hopefully, once it's really nicely polished, we'll be able to see inside the stone pretty easily. And we get a good look at those crystals. So, let's do it. I'm going to cut it on the wood right down the middle here. Show off that nice grain on both sides. And it's so small I'm going to do it by hand. Alright, let's take a look at this piece of wood. So if you're new to rock cutting on these rock saws, they don't have teeth. So if you're worried about my fingers or anything, don't worry. Can't cut myself on them. It's just a grinding wheel. Okay, interesting. So it's really dark, and that wood stuff, you can't see it too well because of the wet, but so the wood's on the outside like that, and then it's like almost opalized in the middle, like really dark. So that should be interesting. I'm excited to check it out. We'll put it on we'll get it on the grinder, and I'll bring it back to you guys. It's me from like 40 minutes into the future. You're gonna want to stick around for the end of this video because what comes out of this rock is absolutely insane. I've got my cabbing machine set up here, and I've got it under a white fluorescent light, which is why you're seeing those light waves basically going up. I can't see that in real life in person, but I guess it shows up on video. I'm going to start off with this one on the 60 grit, just because it's got a lot of grinding I've got to do. This one will be able to start off on the 220, and I'll take this to the 220. Then the longest stage is always 325, because unfortunately I've got a hard 220 going to a soft 325, and that's actually is almost 400, I think, if I remember correctly. So it just takes a lot longer to get the scratches out of the 220 versus the 325. Let's get grinding.
Alright, so I'm going to plan out what shape I want it to be, and I'll bring it back and show you guys.
Alright, excuse the water dripping noises, but this is kind of what we've got under the rough 60 grit. So I love this pattern in here. That is sweet. So this is kind of the maximum shape I could get with all the chips and dents and everything getting that out. And I really like kind of polishing rocks. Somewhat nice, you know, somewhat symmetrical. Obviously, it's got a different shape here, but you could look at it this way, a little curve that way, that way. But I like maximizing the size of the stone and leaving it somewhat the shape that it came in. So I'm going to kind of leave it like this. Let me dry it off and show you what it looks like dry. 2, once it's finished polished. So it looks a little rough, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and take this to the 220, and then these also polish up on the 220, these pieces of petrified wood. And we'll just do the faces for now. We might end up doing more later. Got these polished up. So we're gonna polish these up, and I'll show you guys the end product at the end. All right, y'all. I've got the petrified wood pieces polished on the back. I've got to be 100% honest with y'all. I got so distracted by how amazing the other stone is that I didn't spend as much time working on polishing these. But I think they turned out pretty neat. And yeah, check it out. The grain pattern in there is really cool. The dark contrast with it as well. Here's the other side. So there's those, but I'm gonna take the other stone in, show you Brianna's reaction first, since she polished this, or not polished, she found the rock, she asked me to polish it, and I wanna see kind of how excited she is about the other rock. Let's go inside. All right, Brianna and Talia, hello. Take a look at your rock.
Oh my. That turned out awesome. You were worried that it would be too small. That looks so cool. What is it that's inside, do you know?
It's called dendritic crystals. So they're dendrites. It's basically
Inside
like,
of the crystal.
they're called that because they look like tree branches or tree roots or something.
That is so cool. Have you found one before?
Not quite like that. It's a unique stone. We're gonna show everyone now. All right, as soon as I turned the camera off on her, she then felt free to express exactly how she felt. She was extremely excited, said it was gnarly and cool. So here we go. Check out this rock. It's like frozen branches. If you guys have ever been somewhere in the winter where the trees become like ice. Ooh, it's slippery. So, my polishing skills aside, this rock speaks for itself. Look at that. I love the ends there. Oh my goodness. There's that. Kind of tried to round the end here a little bit. Make it a little bit of a symmetrical cut. I didn't say I was going to make it symmetrical, but I decided to go ahead. That right there is the money shot. So I'm going to take some pictures of that, show you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And let me know what you think about that rock in the comments. I think it's incredible, but I'd love to hear from you guys. Here's some pictures.